What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 6 of the Chicken Pod Podcast. My name is Michael Smith.
And my name is Tavon Chat.
And welcome back to the Chicken Pod Podcast. Now, the last time we left off, we had 5 new anime on our list from 2019, and now we only have 4. So now, we are going to be discussing the latest 2 episodes from each anime on our list. So, why don't you start us off, Tavon, with your first anime?
All right, so to start off, I'm just going to give you guys a flashback of the last podcast when I had brought up the anime called Dr. Stone, where the whole world had been turned into stone for some unknown reason. Pretty much a flash of light came. It was a big, bright green light, and the whole world just started turning into stone, and there were only three survivors who came out of their shell. So I'm just going to pick up right there where I left off.
Okay.
So pretty much what was going on in episode 2 and episode 3, during the episodes, they were gathering supplies, pretty much to try to rebuild the world back to its civilization. But then unexpectedly, they heard a sound in the forest as they were walking, and they heard some lions and tigers. And it kind of caught them off guard in a way because they didn't think that any animals would be alive at this time. But then they realized, they were like, oh, shoot, I just realized if all the humans returned to stone, that means all the animals broke free from the zoo.
Oh.
So they were pretty much on the run. And then next thing you know, they ended up by this tree and they were cornered. But what happened was they had like one guy left who was, they saw one guy who happens to be strong, somebody from their school or some celebrity who's really strong. Mm-hmm. And what happened was while they were in a tight spot, they were like, oh shoot, it looks like it's do or die right here. So what they did was they pretty much quickly revived him back. And the guy, he pretty much took care of the lions by himself because apparently he's strong enough to pretty much one-shot the lion with his fist. I guess he's that strong to take on animals. I don't know, it's anime logic. So he took him out, and next thing you know, they took him back to base. They were introducing themselves about he's the science guy, about Senku, the green-haired guy who's pretty much the main guy. Yeah, he said he pretty much introduced himself as a scientist, and his partner, they're pretty much doing introductions. But the thing that caught me off guard really was Senku. He didn't all the way trust the guy that came back to civilization. I mean, that they brought back because even though, because not everybody, because when you think about it, not everybody's going to be good that they bring back to life.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And a world apocalypse, so they got to be very sketchy.
Oh, yeah.
So, and pretty much what made him think that he didn't trust him was because he was just giving him weird signals. Like he was like praising him for, his deeds. Like, wow, I'm amazed that you built all this by yourself and stuff like that. Like pretty much saying some sketchy stuff that people would normally say. And what really hit the nail on the coffin was when they were at this beach and he was telling this story about, are you sure you want to rebuild the world back to civilization to how it was before when everybody was paying rent and all this stuff going on with the higher authority? He was like, we could just rebuild this world and reclaim a throne for ourselves. Oh. And what he did was he snapped this guy's head that was a stone. Like he snapped this adult's head. Oh, snap. Like a grown man's head with his bare hand. I was like, oh, shoot. Looks like he was right there to tell him. So what happened was Senku, he played a really good, Senku the scientist, he pretty much played a really good, intelligent role here because he didn't tell him how to revive the people back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he pretty much skipped that stuff. So what he did was he laid out a plan to where he got separated. So he pretty much told him like, yeah, we need the supplies over here. So you just go over there. And then, so that was when Senku, he ran back to the base. And then after that was when he was, consulting with his friend, Taiju, which was, he was consulting with his friend, trying to tell him like, we can't trust this guy. He's a shady guy. At the beach, he snapped this guy's head. Yeah. It was like, well, you know what? I don't have any reason not to believe you. I mean, you've already done all this. So here's the part where things started going kind of downhill on their way. So the guy, the villain, his name was Sakusa.
Sakusa?
Yeah, Sakusa. So he came back. He was like, wait a minute, you set me up, didn't you? You set me on that wild goose chase. So pretty much, I'm thinking this fight's about to break out. And then Senku, he was like, right now, we can't take him. We don't have the right tools or the right civilization. So I'm thinking his friend, you know that guy who on the last podcast who was like, I'm gonna confess my love, that guy.
I'm gonna confess my love. Okay, him, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. So he came in, and I'm thinking he's about to save him. He was like, no, just hit me. You can take it all out on me, man. Huh? Yeah, I was like, huh? Where are we going with this? I'm like, what? I thought you were supposed to save the day. Don't hurt him or don't hurt the girl. Just take it out on me. This is getting cringy to watch.
Yeah.
So anyway, the villain, he was like, you know what? This just isn't worth my time. There's no deal being made here, and I'm not getting anything out of it. So pretty much he just walked away and left them alone for the time being, because there was pretty much no, like, he's a bad guy, but at the same time he wants something to benefit him in a way. He's that kind of villain. So he was like, you know what, let me just leave. And he pretty much wander off on his own. Okay. And that was when Senku, he made this plan to where he just played it off to where they like rage quit. So he pretty much like destroyed some of the experiments on purposely. Like he did, like shattered his glass and whatnot and made it look as if they flee. If that makes sense. Okay. So he pretty much left, and he was going to the mountain, well, not mountains, but like a volcano to like get like a gun, well, to build a gun and whatnot. You need like, stuff like that. So while they were on the journey over there, that was when Tsukasa, the villain, he came wandering back. He was like, wait a minute, why are these experiments destroyed? Why are these glass shattered? This doesn't sound like him. He's not the type of scientist guy to destroy his own creation. So then he started catching on. He was like, why are they going over there toward the volcano? Wait a minute, is he planning on getting a gun? So then that was when he started warning off over there to where they were. And I'm just going to skip ahead here. Okay. And what happened was he caught up to them, and he kidnapped the girl that was saved. Oh, okay. You know the girl the guy had a crush on, who was saying he wanted to confess his love her. Yeah. So he kidnapped her, and he was like, so what are you going to do? Are you going to tell me how to revive civilization, or you want me to kill this girl right here? And while she's playing the damsel in distress, the guy was like, you think I care about that? Do you know how many girls there are out here? Do you think I'm going to sacrifice humanity just to save a girl? I was like, okay, thank you. This guy's actually reasonable. Yeah. So then he started to think logically, and he just really started to think. He was like, The only reason, and I mean the only reason why he actually decided to save the girl was because he was doing it for his friend, not for himself. That was literally the only reason why he did that. He was like, all right. But instead, they did this plot twist here where he was like, you know, nah, screw it. You can just kill me right here. That's right, go ahead. Just make sure you snap my neck right here, you know. Let's go ahead and take that spot. Just make it quick and painless. So next thing you know, that was when he dropped the girl, and then instead that was when he took the shot, he took the killing blow, right? So he killed him. But anyway, I already knew he wasn't dead, but I'll explain my theory later. So anyway, what happens is that the guy shows up, the guy, you know, the I'm gonna confess my love guy, he shows up. And I'm thinking this is the second chance to redeem himself to save the day. Oh no. But instead I'm thinking he's gonna like rage or something like that. But he was like, he did like the opposite option. Instead, he just like threw this rock, and he just ran away with the girl. And Senku, I was like, what's the point of this? Yeah, no. And the thing is, see, here's the thing that I have with womanizers in anime. You know, when I say womanizers for the audience, you don't understand. That's pretty much this macho man who's like this playboy or whatever. The thing that I have against them is that they don't set a realistic tone for the anime. If you get what I'm saying. Yeah. Like Senku here, he was very reasonable. He was like, man, I'm not going to sacrifice civilization for this girl. But you have this macho man who comes in like, yeah, I got to save her, man. But back to what I'm saying, a good example of that, and I say I don't hate them because, you know, you got Brock from Pokemon, you know, I like him. Mana for Persona, you know, I like that cat guy, you know, I thought he was pretty funny. But this guy here, he kind of gives me Sanji vibes in a way. And I don't mean that as an insult. Yeah. But I say that because when I first met Sanji, I thought he was very comical. And I thought he was strong too. You know, he was a strong man with all these kicks, and he joined Luffy's crew and whatnot.
Yeah,
And he was like this ladies' man, you know, he had his comedy moments. But then there came a time from where it went from being a comedy to a glitch because doing this arc, his whole crew was in danger. And everybody was fighting for their lives. Everybody was all bloody up and whatnot. And Sanji was against this woman. And the thing is, he didn't want to fight back just because she was a girl. And it kind of pissed me off in a way because I'm like, everybody's putting their life on the line, but you're this guy who just doesn't want to fight back because she's a girl. And I feel like there comes a time in anime to where you need to change the concept of that character for them to evolve, if you get what I'm saying. And another good example of that would be the remember that arc in One Piece when he was about to get, married and whatnot?
Yeah.
And Sanji lost everything. He lost his friends, and all he had left was this girl named Pudding.
Yep.
And then he was sitting outside listening when he was about to bring her like roses and whatnot. And then next thing you know, the girl, and we'll put the link in the description below so the audience won't get confused.
Yeah.
And what happened was Sanji, he was listening in, and the lady and the girl, she was like, I can't believe that he confessed his love to me. And she was like pretty much just making fun of him and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then that kind of broke Sanji's character in a way to where he was kind of like upset, and he just like had this like teardrop from his eye. And I was thinking I was going to change the concept of his character. But then a few episodes later, he's back to that lovey-dovey guy who was like, oh, I love you, Pudding, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much why I say that I'm not really fond of those type of characters in anime. Yeah. But anyway, we're getting off topic here, so we're just going to get back to what I was saying.
Yeah, you just making it.
They were on the run from the villain anyway. And pretty much they spotted this one piece of stone left on Senku's neck. And that was pretty much the only way they could bring him back to life. Because if they pour the material on his neck, then the stone will crack and he'll pretty much come back to life. So as long as somebody has like a piece of stone left on their body, their injury will be pretty much healed. So this is a one-time thing for him to come back to life.
Oh, okay.
So pretty much they brought him back to life, and that was pretty much where the episode ended right there. Okay. So any questions?
Okay. So the questions I have would pretty much just be like, how would you say you're feeling the story thus far? Do you feel like it's a good progression? Do you feel like it's kind of like how are you feeling like the progression of the story so far? Do you feel like you're gonna like it more, or are you like not sure where this is going to go or lead off to later on?
It's really more of I want to watch. I'm gonna see what they do the next episode. And if nothing changes, then I'm gonna drop the anime. Because I'm liking Senku himself, the scientist guy. I like his personality. I'm liking him, and I'm liking the villain. But I feel like his best friend and the damsel in distress girl are setting a very unrealistic tone for this anime.
Okay.
And that's probably the only reason why I end up dropping it. But we'll see what happens in the next episode before I do my final verdict.
Would you say it's more like the rah-rah, or like if like you wish the focus was more on like the other characters, not like the main three characters that like in that show?
Yeah, that's pretty much where I put it. Yeah, pretty much like the rah-rah.
Okay. So during the 2 episodes that you watched, did you find any interesting soundtracks, or would you still say it's like still kind of nah?
That's another thing I take points off for this anime. If you're going to go back in time to a civilization where the world was before stone, why are you playing these rap soundtracks?
That's the soundtrack?
They're not just bad, but they're like, solely they're kind of bad. Like, yo, what's up, man? My name is Chet. Yeah. It's that kind of rap. I'm just like, this doesn't fit to a stone. What are you doing? What is this?
Okay.
For that.
Okay, all right. Would you say the design is pretty good, or would you just say it's more like just like regular, or would you say it's bad? Like I don't know. Like how would you feel about that then?
I feel like the design is pretty decent. I'm feeling the look of the stone world. I'm feeling the look.
All right. I think you really described everything else pretty good. So yeah, I don't think there's like any other like questions. So what would you probably rate the current episodes that you've seen so far?
I'd give it 6 right now. but only because of those that cringy guy. But
Yeah.
other than that, I'll just give it a 6 for now. Hopefully, it's better.
Okay, yeah, I get it. All right. So I guess since you already talked about that, all right, I guess I'll go to my anime now. All right. So I did mine in a different way because I was curious to see, like, I'm curious because like there's like, I'll save that for the end. But hey, we'll go to my anime first. The first one I saw, which was Ahiru no Sora. Did I say it right or did I mess it up again?
Nah, you said it right. You got it right.
Okay. All right. So the last time we left off for this anime, when I was talking about it, we left off with like the main character Sora. He was like talking about like challenging the rest of the crew who was on the basketball team to like a basketball match and whatnot, and it ended right there where we see him like just like juke everyone, just like zoom, when they're like what the, and then like we like see how good he is in basketball and whatnot, and pretty much episode 2 pretty much takes place right as that's happening right now. We see him going against like the rest of the crew in this like basketball challenge or whatnot. And at first it starts off like one of them like hitting him and like accidentally like hitting him, like oops, and then like because like he's saying like, oh yeah, if I make this shot then like you guys have to like join the team and whatnot. But then like one of them like messes him up. He's like, oh well, like I guess he messed up the shot, so I guess like we don't have to do it anymore. And then like the female basketball player, she like said like no, you guys are cheating, no, have a fair fight. And then like he like says like oh yeah, don't worry, it's fine, we're fine, all you gotta do is just like actually like play me for real, and then we'll be good to go and whatnot. And then like the blonde guy was like looking at him weird, and then he was just like, you know what, fine, let's go for his little challenge that he's giving us right now. Don't worry, we it's like there are like 5 of us, we can destroy this little kid. Like what are we doing right now? All right, let's do this. And then it cuts to all of them, like, it cuts to the Afro guy eating, and they just like the rest of the crew walking by, and it's like it's like the short. It was like, oh, so what happened? We lost. We got destroyed, man. And then he like pretty much just wiped them out. Like it wasn't like because like the Afro guy got like both of the brothers, the Afro dude and the blonde haired dude, they were like talking, and he was just like, oh, so what happened? How many shots did you get? It was like we got none. He scored all of them on us. I was like, damn. And basically during this whole episode we like find out about like the blonde guy a lot, basically finding out that like he actually had some experience in basketball. He actually was really persistent at one point, but he kind of just got like turned off of basketball completely because he just felt like he wasn't good at it, because he like trained multiple times, like a lot more than anyone on his team back in the day, and like he never was at that level. He never got as good as he wanted to be. He always felt like he was just terrible, basically. And during this time, that's the reason why he kind of lost his passion for basketball, and he felt like, oh yeah, nah, this is just a dumb sport and whatnot. Until he started looking at the passion of Sora. He started looking at his passion. He started looking at like what he's doing and whatnot, and he starts like really start questioning himself. He's like, is basketball really like why does he care so much about doing this game? It's just a dumb game and whatnot. And this is where we get to this one scene where I'm skipping ahead a lot, but like I'm just giving you like the little gist of things. We get to this one part where Sora is like just like shooting hoops and just playing like basketball and whatnot, and the female player, like the best player on like the female basketball team, she like shows up again. She's like watching him. She's like, oh, what is he doing? And he's just basically like playing basketball, shooting hoops nonstop and whatnot. And then like we get to like the Afro dude and the blonde guy like talking again, and then he's just like, that kid's just like, that kid's out of his mind. I don't know, he's insane for thinking that like will actually like play basketball with him and whatnot, even though like he agreed, like the blonde guy did agree to like, oh yeah, I'll actually play basketball if you actually like beat us and whatnot. And during that time, he's just like thinking like this kid's like out of his mind and whatnot. He goes to the gym and he like sees the female basketball player like looking at this kid and whatnot. It's like nighttime at this point, and he's just like, and he knew that the kid was like there like playing basketball. And he was like, he's still there. And like she's like, oh yeah, he's been like shooting like over like 1,000 shots right now. He's like, what? And then like he just like really like just like has realization of just how like persistent this dude was. And he just like, yeah, because of my height and whatnot, because he like told the blind guy this, like, yeah, because of my height, I had to pretty much like find a different way of becoming good. I have to practice even harder because of my height, because I already know, like, I already have a disadvantage. So in order to have an advantage over other players, like taller people, I have to work even harder. I have to work on other ways of being on their level and whatnot. And it was at that moment where, like, the blonde guy started looking at things differently. He started having an epiphany and started thinking, like, you know what, this shorty actually starting to, like, he's starting to, like, get to me and whatnot. He started really thinking about going into, like, going back and doing this again. Started wanting to become a basketball player again. He started thinking about it again. And what I'm curious about, on top of, like, the blonde guy, like, getting back in the basketball as well, is I like the fact that in the first episode we get introduced to the Afro dude. I'm thinking, like, him and, like, the main character, like Sora, was going to be, like, the ones to, like, be, like, in the basketball team together and whatnot. What I liked about was the guy that, like, the person who's supposed to be, like, the leader of the team comes in. I thought, like, okay, he's probably just gonna be like this, like, random dick. He's just gonna be like this, like, a-hole, just, like, won't allow him to play or whatnot. But it's funny that the blonde dude was the one who had the experience, who was actually wanted to do basketball, and the dude with the afro is the one who just, like, oh no, that's hard work, I don't even want to try. And, like, he just, like, he seems way more, like, not interested in playing basketball way more than the blonde kid, who's way more persistent about it. And we see that later on. We actually see him in the next episode actually practicing again and actually trying to, like, shoot hoops and whatnot. And he's just, like, missing shots here and there, just, like, missing a bunch of shots. And then this group that he, like, messed with before, like him, like, the blonde kid's group himself, like, messed with a few of, like, these, like, other team from his other high school's, like, henchmen and whatnot. They, like, messed with them because they were, like, messing with him. And he was like, all right, man, get out of here. And they, like, messed him up and, like, threw him out. Next thing you know, while he's, like, shooting hoops, that team, the rest of the group comes back. While they're, like, while he's, like, by himself, he's just like, oh yeah, I heard you, like, mess with a couple of our people and whatnot. Yeah, we really appreciate that and whatnot. He's like, man, just get out of my face, but and then they, like, start, like, beating him up and start, like, mess him up and whatnot. And then that's when Sora, like, sees that, and then, like, he like tries to get in as well. He's like, oh, you want to mess with someone? Mess with me. It is custom, both of them beat up on the ground. And then he's completely out. What killed me was Sora when he was on the ground. He was just while the blonde kid, he just started, like, having this emotional moment at first. He's just like, yeah, you know what? For the longest time, I, like, practiced basketball. I'm like, I was just never good at it. I trained more than anyone else, and I was just never good at it. During that entire time, Sora's like, oh, my ears burn. I was done. He's like, what'd you say? I couldn't hear any of that. He's like, what? You heard none of that? He's just, like, pissed off. That he's like, all right, whatever. Let's go to the gym. All right, let's practice and whatnot. And he actually started practicing with Sora and whatnot. And now Sora's trying to convince the rest of the team to, like, join the basketball team as well. And Sora's just like, all right, what can I do to convince you guys and whatnot? And they're, like, practicing at first, and then they're, like, doing terribly. And now, like, the female basketball team are, like, laughing at them. They're like, you know what? Screw this, man. I ain't about to do this again. And then like, Sora's like, all right. What can I do to, like, convince you and whatnot? All right, you know what? If you want us to play basketball with you guys again, all right, go play basketball in your underwear in front of the females. So go ahead and do that. And then the next day he goes there and he's playing basketball, but not his underwear, but butt ass naked. And that called me. I was like, what? yeah. He's like, what? What do you say? We say where? We said do it in your underwear, man. He was like, nah, y'all better agree to this. To be fair, at first I was just like, why would he go out naked and do this? But at the same time, I kind of understand what Sora was doing looking back, because I feel like the reason why he got out there naked is because he knew that the rest of the crew was embarrassed, and he said, oh, if I could jump out there butt naked in front of all those girls, you guys can do this. You got no reason to be embarrassed about doing this after what I just did. So y'all owe me for this one. So I actually got respect for him and the fact that he did do that. Just, like, really say, like, oh yeah, if I could do this, if I could go in front of there completely naked and do this, you guys have no excuse that, like, you guys can practice and actually, like, join the team and whatnot. And that was, like, around the time where, like, the episode the episode ends and whatnot. And that was, like, the whole, like, gist of it and whatnot. So far I'm very intrigued, like, how, like, the group is gonna progress and, like, where it's gonna go from here. So I'm really intrigued about that. All right, so any questions?
would you say you had some respect for that blonde guy in the end?
Oh yeah. I definitely say like compared to like the first episode where I thought he was just going to be like this, just pretty much just. Oh, so what?
Oh, nah. Oh, you go ahead.
Oh no, I was making sure, but pretty much like at first I just thought he was going to be like this, like man, like I don't like just like henchman number one, like you can't play basketball, give me your milk money or something like this, like bully just like messes with him and just like doesn't want a part of the team. And I thought like eventually, okay, maybe he'll get like kicked out and then like we'll get someone different. But then like with these last episodes, I got way more invested to him and definitely gained a lot more respect for the character after seeing like why he was the way he was, like why he like thinks basketball is just a game, and why he's like not serious anymore, because he was serious, but after what happened to him, he was just like, yeah, nah, I'm done with this. I'm not gonna waste my time when I'm not good at it and whatnot. And that was just like that was really intriguing because I've never seen that type of progress before, where like someone like jumps out of a sport and then like comes back into it because like he sees someone else like really persistent about it. Any other questions?
How would you say the music is for this show? Would you say it fit?
I definitely say it fits. I don't think there was like a specific track that made me go, oh yeah, this track is amazing or whatnot. But I do feel like I definitely say it fits for like the show or whatnot. There might be another track like later on that like ends up being like, oh snap. But like just like so far, I do feel like I'm intrigued right now. I do feel like it works for like. It definitely works for the show. It doesn't have like that. Yo, yeah, it's your boy right now, about to play some ball. We about it's just like yeah, like some like weird rap kind of like for like your show or whatnot. It's just like I definitely feel like it fits for like what's going on with the show and whatnot. But anything else?
Well, what would you say from a scale of 1 to 10 shows right now?
Currently right now, I'll probably give it an 8, only because I feel like it can still progress a little further. I feel like it's definitely can have that progression, and depending on like where that progression goes and how the team ends up building themselves up, it could end up being a 9 or even a 10 depending on how like it progresses. But so far I'll give it an 8 only because I see like really good progression like gradually coming together. I'll say what?
And they're keeping the mysteries around the characters.
Oh yeah, and definitely that, because we don't know like because we don't know everyone else's like other motivations or whatnot. We don't know that much of like the other characters. We just know like no one like wanted to play basketball, and that's like all we knew about it. And the only person's like backstory we really got, and like his like mystery was like we knew like we found out what happened to him like in these episodes and whatnot. So it did make me go like, okay. It made me think differently about that character, and like I'm curious to see where it's gonna go and whatnot. So yeah. Probably like an 8 for now. Just like see where it goes from there.
Okay. That's all I have to say.
All right. Now I guess you can go to your anime then.
So my next anime is called Vinland Saga.
Okay.
Now, on our last podcast, I really didn't say too much about this show because they were doing more telling than showing.
Yeah,
they were just pretty much just telling, this story about, imagine One Piece, they're telling the story about the King of the Pirate. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much the whole show.
Okay.
So I feel like in episode 2, they really got into detail. And I say that because the main character named Thoris, the guy who pretty much took on that dead slave.
Yeah.
What I actually started to get more respect for this guy, because what I had figured out was from episode 1, this guy, he was part of this great war, and then he ended up diving into the water, and he ended up staying on this island for like 15 years or so. And then I found out that he did this on purpose to get away from all of that. Because at some point he just got tired of like just killing just to survive. Because like he told the story about how he used to just kill just to that was his way of making a living. That was his only option.
Oh.
I found this out because this guy showed up to the town with like all these men in like knight and armor right now. They're supposed to pretty much be like intimidating to like everybody in the village.
Yeah.
They already had this armor and whatnot. And the leader showed up, and he showed up talking to Thoris, the main character. And he was like, yeah, so we found out you've been here for 15 years just searching for you. And we were wondering, how would you like to, here's a proposition for you. How would you like to come back to where you were before? And he was like, nah, I'm just done fighting, and I'm just done with this. I'm done. And he was like, I don't think you have a position to turn me down. you see all those men out there at night? All I have to do is say the word and everybody in this village will be killed, pretty much.
Mm.
So pretty much Sorters, he wasn't like intimidated because I'm pretty sure he felt like he could handle them all by himself. Like I said, this guy has a big legacy, so I'm pretty sure he still want to put the people in danger. He was like, you know what? All right, that's fine. I think your deal. And then while they were talking to each other one on one, one of his henchmen, he bumped into a guy in the villager, and then as soon as like they were giving like this guy was giving him like a distant stare, like he wanted to kill the villager right there.
Oh.
But instead, the meeting was over, so he was like, "All right, let's go." And the next thing you know, he was like, "Congratulations, you've been saved." So they just pretty much got on this boat and went away. And then Thorders, he told the villagers that he was going to war, and everybody in the town, they were pretty much celebrating. They were like, "Yeah, we get to finally kill some people," because they're pretty much living in medieval times, to where you like kill like these swords and shields or whatnot. Like if you like kill people, the woman will like you and stuff like that. They're living in that kind of time period. Well, with Thor's on the other hand, he kind of like walked away in like this depressive tone because they don't understand what it's like to be out there and just like kill people for fun. Kill people and see people die. To them, it's just a game to get royalty, to get like ladies to love them and stuff like that, to get a name for themselves. But to him, he looked at it like this just isn't the life you want. You don't understand. Pretty much him and this old dude, they hacked up a plan to where instead it looked like they were going to war, but he was like, nah, we're only gonna need 5 people. That's it, just 5 people. They didn't even bother to take a lot of men. It just took 5 people. It was like, all right. So here's what we're gonna do. He was telling this old guy who was like pretty much, and what happened was he told him, I know of a town to where we can just pretty much avoid all of this. So their plan was they weren't even gonna go to war. They just went back to the old man's hometown. So while they all got on this boat to pretty much leave, well, before they got off and leave to this hometown, Thor's his son, he always plays with kids. You know, he always played with a group of kids, and they play like pretend. They play like a pretend war game where they got like these wooden swords and shields, and they're about to charge in the war. But what happened was, for a split second, he kind of got serious, and he was like, he actually started hurting like the little kids.
Oh.
Because he was like, man, this is no fun anymore. This is just a child's game. I actually want to go to war and this, that. So then the villagers started complaining to Thorders. They were like, man, your son, he's out of control, this, that, and the third. So he found his son like digging in his chest, and he found his knife. And his son was like amazed at this knife. And that was when his dad, Thor's, walked in. He was like, what are you doing, son? He was like, who are you trying to kill? He was like, the son was like, I'm just trying to kill the enemy. And then that was when the dad, he was like, there are no enemies, son. There is no reason to fight anyone. And he was pretty much trying to tell him that this is just a peaceful town. He doesn't want him to worry about wars. Yeah. And then his son was like, you're wrong, Dad. And he just kind of like ran off, and he didn't see his son. So anyway, if you just skip ahead to when he was about to get on this ship to go to war, and he was pretty much looking for his son, but he couldn't find him. Told his wife Helga to leave a message for his son. So anyway, he got on the ship. So as they were on the way to that old man's town, what happened was, remember that guy I told you who I told you wanted to have a meeting with Thor's and told him to come back?
Oh yeah, okay.
So what happened was he started negotiating with this other guy. He was like, I want you to kill Thor's for me. Well, I thought he was part of your people. He was like, no. I want you to kill this guy. I think he's lost his will to fight. He's not worthy anymore. So I want you to just offer him. He's like, why don't you do it yourself? Don't you have your own henchmen and whatnot? He was like, nah, I don't think you understand. I'll pay you for this. I'll pay you like this amount of money, something like that. And then they were pretty much like negotiating. And then that was when he agreed to it. He was like, all right, fine. It's a done deal. So he's pretty much setting Thor's up. So we'll skip ahead. And they were on their way to pretty much on their way to that old man's village. Thor's and the 5 men that was going to war, they were pretty much on the way to the village. And then what happened was the guy, he was like, wait a minute, why didn't he want to take them all out by himself? I mean, he had the henchmen. Why didn't he want to take out Thor's by himself? It's like, wait, that's not that he didn't want to get his hands dirty. It's just that he couldn't handle Thor's by himself. because he was thinking that Thor can handle all his henchmen by himself. Like I said, this guy is supposedly not like a god. He's like this big entity, kind of like, you know, how Pain was in Naruto. Like he's this big guy.
Okay.
So he was kind of like, he was like on that kind of level. So then that was when he really started thinking about it. He was like, I guess this will be interesting then. So anyway, the son suddenly comes out of the boat, you know, with the 5 men.
Mm-hmm.
So he pretty much kind of like surprised his father, because that's where he was all along. He wanted to join on this adventure to go to war with his father. And these guys on this boat, they were talking about like, yeah, man, I can't wait to kill this person, and we're gonna become what's the word I'm looking for? We're gonna become warriors. Yeah, man, we're gonna kill. And then Thor was like, don't talk about killing like it's a game. You just don't understand. The thing that intrigued me about this guy is that he has a lot of mystique to his character, because when they were rowing the boat, he was on one side and the 5 men were on the other side. Oh. And he could row the whole boat by himself. Oh. He could row the whole boat by himself. The 5 people, they were already tired of rowing the boat. So they're talking about they want to go to war, but they were already tired from just rowing a simple boat. So what happened is they finally arrived to the town where the old man is. Mm-hmm. They realized, hold on, something's not right. Where's my people at? This is a setup. So they're all surrounded by, remember that henchman he paid off to take care of Thor?
Oh, yeah.
And they were all surrounded. And then pretty much Thor's caught onto it. So they tried to roll back to the sea. But all this debris fell down and they kind of like blocked their way for them to not go back. They're like, nah, you're trapped. You're not going anywhere. So then that was when he handed his son that knife. Remember that knife his son discovered out of the chest? Yeah. He said, here, just use this only when you have to defend yourself. So that was when the 5 men on the boat, they were like, so we're doing this or not, right? And then Thor was like, nah, don't worry. I got this by myself. So he pretty much, he hopped on the other boat while everybody was coming at him with like swords and shields and whatnot. He just wiped them out with his bare hand. He was like, bam, pick them out by himself, and they all passed out.
Oh, snap.
Pretty much where like the anime just cut like right there.
What?
So I have this gut feeling that they're probably going to kill off Thor, because if you think about it, when you played like a lot of video game and you have like this person that takes on like this younger son or daughter, they always end up killing off the older person.
Yeah.
Remember how they killed off Luke?
Yep.
Yeah. So I got a feeling they're probably going to kill him off anyway. Yeah. That's pretty much where it left off.
So how do you feel like? How do you feel about the story so far? Do you feel like you're intrigued with it? Do you feel like you don't know where it's gonna go, or do you feel like, if going for Thor,
I feel like I'm actually more intrigued now, because episode 1 just felt kind of boring because they were just telling this folk tale. Or this one, they actually like showed some stuff. So I was actually intrigued in this character.
Okay. I'm just saying sounds.
If they do kill him off, I hope the show doesn't get dead. Like, man, we're just stuck with his son quick. So I'm hoping it doesn't end up like that.
Okay. And what do you think about the soundtrack so far? Do you feel like it fits for the world, or do you think it's like kind of like Dr. Stone, like what you said?
I feel like it's just really that soundtrack that I showed you.
That's it.
I sent you that day. I mean, no, that's pretty much the only song they're playing right now, but they kind of like put like a different version of it. Because remember how Nothing Can Be Explained from Bleach? Zangetsu's thing, they have like different versions of it. That's pretty much what they did with this song.
Okay, I got you now.
So I know you didn't like the link right then and there, but I feel like if you watch the show, you'll probably like it more. That's pretty much.
I didn't hate it. I just thought it's alright. Like I just like wasn't feeling the flow that much, but I mean like I said, like certain songs, like when I listen to like that, when I watch the actual anime, it's like it's different. Kind of like when you showed me Tsukishima's theme and like Haikyuu and whatnot, that volleyball anime. But okay. So what would you probably say how you feel about the animation right now? You feel like that's going? Do you think that's really good, or do you feel like
I like the animation really good right now? I'm feeling the animation.
All right. And we just
funny because their songs are better than that Dr. Stone anime where they're playing like this rap thing, like yo, my name is what?
Okay. So what you say? So you say? So you think there's any other character that like intrigues you in the show, or would you say it's just the main dude, like Thor's or whatnot?
Just the main guy, Thor's. That's pretty much the only guy that's interested in me right now.
You ain't feeling anyone else?
Not really. No one really is. That's why I'm worried if they kill him off, I'm gonna end up dropping the show. But we'll see.
How you feel about the son?
And
Okay.
eh.
Okay. So, what would you probably give it right now, currently?
I give it an 8 right now. I'm liking where it's going.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I said all my questions. Yeah. I think we're good to go. Okay. All right. So I guess I'll start off with my anime next. All right. So here's my second anime, and this is the one that I was going crazy over. That had the shocking plot twist at the end, and the one that caught me off guard way completely when I watched it. The Promised Neverland. So okay. So last time we left off, we basically the gist of what I said. I'm basically gonna do a little small summary of the gist of what I said last podcast, just so you can get the gist of what I'm like, of where I'm going with this now for the next episode, just so you can get the context of it. So basically, beforehand, while I was talking about the Promised Neverland, I talked about it was a group of orphans stuck in this orphanage with this one woman who's like their mother, who basically takes care of all of them, and she always says like, don't go past the fence, because they had like this like gated like fence thing that they can't go past and whatnot, and she always said that. And one night one of the children gets adopted, and basically mother takes her over to get adopted and whatnot, and she goes past the gate. Both of them go past the gate, and like I said, for a long time I had this eerie feeling about something was going on with this show and whatnot. So the three main characters, we have Emma, Norman, and Ray. Only Emma and Norman, they both go out of the gate and go and grab this bunny rabbit that the adopted girl left. So they go past the gate, and then they see this weird truck. And in the truck, they saw something that really caught them off guard. And then they saw more stuff that really caught them off guard, and it caught me off guard, and I wasn't ready for any of that. And it was at that moment that this show took a completely different tone that I wasn't expecting. So I don't want to completely spoil everything just yet and just now, because I still want to kind of save that, because I feel like it's still really good. So at some point, I feel like by the end of this, I'm still going to recommend it. I'll be shocked if it goes downhill compared to where it's at right now, because even with the first episode, the last episodes I just saw are still really good. So basically what we leave off after that is Emma and Norman, after they saw what happened, after they saw what they were doing with these kids, they were dipped. They were gone. And they basically ran back to the orphanage, wondering what the hell they were going to do now, because after seeing what they're doing with the kids, what's happening and whatnot, they basically just think about what they're gonna do, and they wondering how they're going to escape this and whatnot. And afterwards, they just pretty much go to sleep, and they're basically just all right, we'll sleep this over and we'll think about it later. So during the time of their sleep, Emma, the female character, she has this nightmare about what she just saw and whatnot, for good reasons, considering everything that just happened and whatnot. And she just wakes up and oh wait, did you say something?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, I just heard a swoosh. What was that? Anyway, but anyway, so Emma's freaked out about this, even after what happened with the nightmare and whatnot. She just can't keep her composure. So when she goes downstairs and she sees Mother, and she sees the rest of the kids, she can't look at Mother the same way again. It's she's trying to keep her composure, but she's just it's just not there, because she's just she can't see Mother the same way again. And during that entire time, she's the mother looks at her, she's oh, what's wrong? And then Norman comes and she's oh, she's fine, don't worry, it's fine, Mother. She's just a little frightened, because she knows that eventually she's going to leave the school too, because an adoption place and a school. So she's just scared when she has to leave as well. And what I like about Norman is that he was really good at keeping his composure, almost thinking nothing happened. So he basically just told Emma oh yeah, you gotta keep your composure, just smile. That's what I do. I always smile, even when something bad's happening or anywhere, because you always see, because I already told you in the last podcast, Norman always has this creepy ass smile where I felt he's just gonna turn on everyone. He just has that weird Gin smile, because he you always see him smiling. That's what he always does. So he's just oh yeah, just smile through everything. That's what I do. Just make sure you just smile and just act like nothing's there, and just act like nothing happened and whatnot. And then like while like they're like she's like he like helped her keep her composure and whatnot. They're now like thinking about what they're going to do to help the rest of them escape and whatnot. So during this time, they're like, it's like recess and whatnot, and they're like in the playground, and they're like walking towards the gate again, and they're just like, you know what? Let's go over the gate again. So Norma and Emma go over the gate again, and this time they see, well, there's two different gates. Like there's gates surrounding everything, and the last time they went through the front gate. This time they went through the back gate to see what was around there, because the front gate was where they saw that truck and that brick wall and whatnot. So this time they go to the back gate and saw what was behind there, and behind there they saw this giant wall, and basically it's this giant wall that's blocking them from like getting over to civilization and whatnot. And basically they're like thinking about like, okay, how are we gonna get over this wall and whatnot? And they're like coming up with this plan. They actually thought about like a really good like plan to like get over the wall, like think about like how to make a rope and how to get through and whatnot. And they're just like now debating on like how in the world are they going to get everyone from the orphanage over the wall and whatnot. So now they're like thinking about like, okay, we need someone tactical to help us out. So you know what? I think we need to tell Ray about this, because the only one out of the three main characters that doesn't know about what's really going on is Ray, which is the black-haired kid, which is the one I was the most intrigued about for the longest time. It was like him and Norman I was the most intrigued about. And during this time, he was like, they were just like wondering like, I think we might have to tell Ray about this. I feel like we really need we really need his strategist ideas to like really help us out. And then they were like, oh, you don't need to tell us, you don't need to tell me, because I was already like, because he was already listening in. He like followed them over to like when they passed the gate. He like, oh yeah, I saw you guys and whatnot. And then like he like walked over and they said like, oh yeah, I heard everything about like what's going on at the school and whatnot. And he just said like, this just sounds crazy and whatnot. And then like he just like, you just believed it right off the bat. He was just like, oh yeah, I know Norma wouldn't lie. If you said it, Emma, I wouldn't have believed it. He's like, what? And then like he just comes up like, and what I liked about Ray is that like hearing all this like outlandish and crazy stuff about what's truly going on with the orphanage and whatnot, he believed it right on the spot, and they just went straight into strategy. He just went straight in like strategizing everything that's happening right now. He's like, okay, if we do this, we can jump over here, and then we can make a rope out of this, and then we can take this blanket right here, and then we make a rope out of this, and that's how we'll do it right here. But there's not that many kids in the orphanage that can really like go through, that can survive outside if they like go through the ropes. So we're probably gonna have to leave a few behind. And that's when this huge argument came on between Emma and Ray, because Ray knew for a fact like, oh, this plan is not going to work if we take everyone from the orphanage. It's just impossible for it to work not Ray, but it's going to be impossible for it to work if we get everyone, because not everyone is good at like, they like pretty much like they're like really good survivalists as well, because like they like play around all the time like in like the forest and whatnot, because there's like this little forest area that like they like play around in as well. And he knows for a fact that like we have to leave some people behind. It's just impossible. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? No, we have to save everyone, because like she just has that like good of heart who just like wants to like take care of everyone. But then Ray brings this up, and like it catches everyone off guard. And I didn't even think about this at first, but he said like, what you saw out there when you went past the gate, you said you saw something. You said you saw that horrifying thing. You saw what they were doing with the kids, and apparently they do these things to them, and they go off to this other area, and then they do this other thing. I'm being very vague, but like there's a reason why I am. And basically after Ray explained it, he's just like, so what makes you think that the entire world isn't like this? Basically what I'm saying is, everything, when we go outside, it's not just what we saw, what's happening to children that's going to be bad. It's the world itself that's going to be hell on earth. So basically, once we go outside, it's going to be hell on earth, and we have to like literally survive. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't think about it like that, because at first it's just like, okay, they're just like trapped in this orphanage, and they're like this like horrible thing is happening to like the kids there, and that's it. I think about the entire world is completely like this, and basically we're just, once we go out there, we're gonna have to do even more. We're gonna have to pretty much learn how to survive out there, almost like the apocalypse basically. it's that bad. And basically, Emma and like Norman somehow convinces Ray that like we're able to like save the kids and whatnot, because Norman comes up with a plan, and he said like he convinced Ray enough because he like has any of my plans failed? Once I come up with a plan, you know for a fact I've never failed. And once like Ray heard that, he's just like, yeah, you're right. And then like he like came up with it, because usually with the three main characters, I'd say like Emma's the best when it comes to Emma's the best when it comes to being like a survivalist. She's definitely like the most athletic out of the three. Ray's definitely the best strategist out of the three, and Norman's definitely the best planner out of the three. Like he's the one that like always comes up with the main plan, like gets it done and whatnot. So basically he basically said like, I think I came up with the best plan to actually like, make this go good. So I'm gonna skip ahead a few. I'll skip ahead so I won't go like too long about this. But basically we get to this one part where Mother knows that it was Emma and Norman that checked on the truck and knew, like she knows all of this stuff already. And that's where it gets even more shocking. He's just like, oh no, I already have a plan for this. I'll just let everything come into play and whatnot. Like she knows all this. And the one thing I'll definitely say is that Mother, it's funny because I remember a long time ago we were talking about like seeing like characters that are somewhat attractive, because like Mother someone has like an attractive look to her. Being creepy, she's a different type of creepiness that whenever she goes on screen, I just get this weird chill like down my spine. Like it's just like I feel like she's about to kill me. Like she's looking at the screen, looking at me. Like it's just like the way she like looks and presents herself just has like this creepy vibe to it. And then like we get this one part where she's like, I actually brought in a new assistant. Say hello to Esther. Yeah, that's it. So say hello to Esther. And she's like this black lady, and she's like dressed in like this maid outfit, kind of like Mother as well. She's like, oh, I can't wait to get to know all of you kids. And then like basically that took a tear in the rest of Emma, Norman's, and Ray's plan, because they were hoping that Mother wouldn't know about, like, pretty much like they know like Mother takes care of a few other kids, so they know like they can like, okay, when this is happening, they can leave and do this. So like while Mother's doing that, we can do this. But now that they have a second person to deal with, it's way harder now. It's gonna be even more difficult now, because now like they have another person watching over them. And what made it even more creepier on top of this is, I already knew there was going to be a creepy vibe with this assistant, is that the assistant is infatuated with Mother. Like, she, like, loves Mother, because apparently, like, Mother's like the great, like, apparently there's, like, this group of mothers, and she's, like, the head mother of, like, these, like, mothers, and she's just like, oh my god, I'm so honored to be working with you, Mother. And she's, like, rubbing herself, and I'm like, what the hell is going weird? And then, like, we, like, find out that like the assistant's infatuated with her, and she's basically like, even though she's infatuated with her, we actually find out that's actually a facade as well, and she's actually trying to steal her job, and she's actually trying to like, oh, she actually messed up. The great Mother messed up, and now like these kids are trying to like bust her and whatnot. Oh, this can actually work out. Maybe I can get her in trouble, and then I'll steal her, and then I'll bust the kids myself. That's what I'll do. And we find out about this, and mind you, what makes it even more creepy is that we find out about this, and she's talking to this doll. This creepy doll with one eye that she calls her child, and she's like, what do you think about this, son? Oh yeah, that's a perfect idea. And like it talks back to her, but like it says nothing. It's not like the doll actually talks. Like it's like basically she's crazy too. I'm just like, oh, what the hell? Like this is like really gives you some like Silent Hill vibes and whatnot, just from the creepy factor and just like the music as well. And like she's like talk like, what do you think? What do you think? Oh yes, I agree too. I love you so much. I'm like, what the hell? I'm just like really creeped out about this. And pretty much during the next episode, we basically just get the assistant. We don't really see Mother at all during this. We just get to see the assistant, and she like wants to get to know like the rest of the children more. She's like, oh, how about we all play a game of tag and whatnot? And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's play some fun tag. And basically the assistant just goes Terminator mode, and she's like, oh, don't worry, I bet I'll find all of you guys in like 20 minutes. And next thing you know, zoom, it's just like boom, 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 boom. It just like finds all the kids like that and whatnot. And she's like, what the hell assist. And at that point, we like know to like, oh, the assist is going to be a problem. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a huge problem after this. But the one good thing about it is Norman and Ray are like really good strategists. And the only problem that Emma has is that she's too kind. Because while all the other kids were about to get caught, she like grabs two of the other kids, grabs them, and starts running with them. She's like, "No, come with me!" And that's when like the black lady like goes and like she's like runs and she's like looking for them. She's like, "Emma, I know you're here. See, that's the problem with all of you kids." And then like she starts like pointing out all the flaws to all the kids and whatnot. See, that's the problem with you, Emma. You're too naive. You think too much about others and whatnot, and that's what's going to be the death of you. And now she's like pointing out every single other like kid's flaw and whatnot. And then she's like, "That's why." And right now Emma's like hiding and whatnot while she's like saying all this stuff. And that's why you're gonna confess that you know what's under the gate. And it's like, huh? And then she goes, "I found you." And it's like, "Looks Emma," and that's where it ends. I'm like, huh? Ah! And it's like, that's where it ends right there. And I was like, oh man, like at first, like I didn't know how the other episodes were gonna end up being, but it still kept that creepy factor and that tone from the first episode still like to a T. And I'm still like really invested to see where the rest of this show is gonna go. But right now, I'll probably give like these two episodes probably a 9 out of 10, only because like for a 10 out of 10, I feel like it didn't have that like complete, because it's a rarity I give anything a 10 out of 10 just right off the bat anyway, but like it didn't have that like main shock factor when I found out what the hell was actually going on with like the group and whatnot. But do you have any questions?
So would you say this anime set a better tone than Attack on Titan did when they were trying to figure out what was behind the wall? It's like it set more of a better mystery.
Yeah, because I feel like for Attack on Titan, I feel like the mystery got good later on. Where like the first episode of Attack on Titan, like we didn't really know that much of the mystery. So like, I feel like for Attack on Titan, I feel like the mystery progressively got good when we found out what was really going on. Where for this show, the mystery was kind of, it still isn't there, but just knowing just a piece of what was going on, just like gave me that chill and that vibe that made me go, oh, what the hell is going on with what is happening right now? Like I felt like I was clueless on what was truly going on after seeing that. Ooh, excuse me. So I'd say it definitely had like for a beginning episode, I'd definitely say yeah compared to Attack on Titan. Yeah. But anything else?
Is the music ambient, mystique, or
the music definitely has a really good ambient vibe to it. It definitely has that like there's definitely like a good amount of tracks that are definitely gonna be like, oh yeah, I definitely gotta look for that track later on, because it definitely has like a really good like it really has a good flow between like somber, where it's just like this like regular somber, to like ambient and like creepy when it gets to those certain moments where like that creepiness comes into play, where like it can switch between that really easily, where it goes like dun, 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 what the, like it's like certain songs that like it starts off somber and then it transforms into this like creepiness vibe, almost like you're getting dragged into Silent Hill, where it's like, dun, 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 what is that? Like, it's just like I really like that about the soundtrack as well. I really do like that about like how like the soundtrack is with that show. But anything else?
Animation
Qualities, I'd say like it definitely works for the show. I wouldn't say like, this is the best animation ever, but it definitely sets the tone for the anime. So I definitely say it's really good animation. I'll say what?
Put like the stick figures, man. Like put the stick figures for the anime.
Nah. Like I
and
feel
put
like,
that rap.
oh no. Like I feel like for this anime, it definitely like I wouldn't say it's the best animation ever, but it definitely fits for what's going on. Like it definitely makes the atmosphere. So I feel like it definitely works for what's going on. I definitely say it's really good animation for that. So yeah. All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. All right. I guess you can go to your anime then.
So this next anime is Kono Oto Tomare, the music anime.
Okay.
And the last episode of the podcast, I was telling you about how we were talking about the delinquent Kudo, who about how he joined the club because he know his father has lost a lot of things.
Yeah.
And he felt like it was his fault and whatnot. So we move on to episode 2 and 3 of what I saw. And apparently this new girl, she had joined the club out of the blue. Like she was just automatically in the club, but they just walked in one day. She was there in the club. And she was all friendly and nice. She looked kind of pretty. I was like, actually kind of funny. She was talking kind of like somewhat like Hinata, but she was kind of like, very charming and had like this sweet tone or whatnot. And then she was like asking questions about the club and whatnot. And then she was like, so are there any girls in the club? She was like, and then they were like, nah. She was like, good. I don't have to put up with this stupid personality anymore. Thank God. All right, so anyway, let's get down to business. I was like, where did this come from? She started being like this snobby rich girl. She was like, yeah, I'm just doing this just so I can go to nationals, and then I can have like me some sob story about how I joined this poor club and brought it to nationals along with me. I was like, oh, dang, why you gotta be like that?
Oh, damn.
So I was actually feeling her, and then so pretty much they had like this mini argument and whatnot, and her and Kudo had a mini argument and whatnot about what's a delinquent doing in this club, and about if you damage your instrument, you don't deserve to play the kodo and stuff like that. They pretty much had like a mini argument and whatnot.
Okay.
He just pretty much just left the club. Not like I can't take it. It wasn't like that.
I'm gonna quit the team.
But it was scary. It was kind of like a badass way. It was like, all right, fine. And he just kind of got up and he just left the club, closed the door. It's kind of like that. I was like, oh, okay. See, the thing I like about this anime is that they keep a lot of mystery around the characters. Because it's like if you say one thing, it kind of like gives them a flashback of their past that they hang on to. Like I could be talking about, I could just be talking about like a bag of chips or something, and then here comes this flashback about something that happened in somebody's past. So I do like that. And then pretty much we skip ahead to when he was in like this. We skip ahead and what happened? She saw these. We're gonna skip ahead to where she saw these 3 members of the club, because pretty much they had to get 3 members to join the club, or else they're gonna be disbanded anyway. The principal's trying to get rid of them anyway, because obviously he doesn't like Kudo because his past and whatnot.
Okay.
So she pretty much like just put this like somber tone. She was like talking to them all nicely, and then the 3 guys, they were like, oh, she's so cute. I want to be club and whatnot. So she pretty much just wrote them in to join the club or whatever.
Okay.
And Kudo himself, he pretty much kind of thought about some of the things she was saying anyway, and he was just kind of like doing his own thing to where he was like at home or like he was like practicing on his own and whatnot. And then what happened was they kind of they stumbled upon him at the shop, like they ran into him at the shop or whatever. And then she was actually kind of moved by his performance or whatever, like moved by seeing him, because she's not like, think I'm in love.
Yeah, nah.
It wasn't like that, but she was like kind of like intrigued by him in a way.
Okay.
That he's not, because obviously everybody in the school kind of looks at him as like this delinquent, but she kind of like sees him differently. And then we're gonna skip ahead to when they were in the club, or the 3 new members. Obviously, they don't know how to play the kodo. But they came in and they were like playing cards, and then the principal came. She was like, I knew it. I knew you guys were playing around. You weren't taking this club seriously. And that was when Kudo showed up. He was like, what are you talking about? Nobody would be dumb enough to just play around in the kodo. And he was like, all right. I'll give you a week to play a performance. A week. So then that was when the girl, she put on her goody two shoes. She was like, principal, but I'm sure a week would give you a nice piece, but it wouldn't satisfy your tone. So how about you give us a whole month? So then that was when he was like, all right. I'll give this whole club a month. And then that was when she started like showing them. She started showing the club, giving the club members a few pointers and whatnot. She was like somewhat kind of like strict a bit. He was, and then the snobby girl, she was trying to tell them that they gotta do this to prepare for the month finals. And then Kudo, he was like, "But we're never gonna learn that way if you keep doing keep being strict like that. We're all just beginners here and whatnot." And then she was like, "Whose fault is it that we're in this mess and whatnot?" And they kind of like had like a mini argument or whatever. And then that was when the three guys, they left. Like Kudo, he was kind of like jokingly telling them to like, he wasn't like telling them like, "Get up, we don't need you." He was telling that to the three guys, but he was like jokingly telling them to get out of the club since, it's whatever. Since they're not, they don't know how to play anyway. So anyway, later on, what happened was those three guys, they were walking and then they were listening in on the principal's conversation. And he was talking to the assistant principal. He was like, "Don't worry. I doubt those musical guys will ever play a piece to satisfy us. We'll get rid of Kudo, that delinquent kid, eventually." And that was when the three guys was hearing him. And one of the guys, he was getting mad. He was about to walk up and hit the principal in the face. But one of the guys stopped. He was like, "Nah, don't worry about that." So we skip ahead. Next thing you know, they were in this back alley. Like the three guys, they're walking this back alley. And next thing you know, they bumped into this guy. They bumped into his shoulder or whatnot. He was like, "Excuse me." She's like, and then the guy was like, "Hey, watch where you're going." And then he pulled out and then the guy, he pulled out a knife. He was like, "I don't think you know who you're fucking with." So he pulled out a knife. And the next thing you know, he was about to, he started punching they started beating up the three guys. And as soon as he was about to stab him, that was when Kudo showed up. And then he like stopped the blade with bare-handed. Like his hand was like bleeding as he stopped stopped him from getting stabbed. And then Kudo, he pretty much just beat up all four of them by himself. And then after that, he had a few like scratches and whatnot. They didn't like show the full scene. But they're like, he had like a few scratches and whatnot because he handled them all by himself. And then the three guys, they were like, "Why did you save us? We're not part of the club. We don't know how to play Kudo. We don't have nothing to do with it." And he was like, "I only saved you because you're I don't know what his best friend's name is, so I'm just calling him Tanaki. You're Tanaki's friend. You're his friend." And pretty much who Tanaki is he's pretty much his right hand man who's been with him since he was a delinquent. So pretty much kind of the equivalent of me and you. So like even if I was at like my the lowest point, probably even if everybody was going, I know you'd still be that guy that's there. He's pretty much that guy to him. So he's like that was the only reason why I saved you, because you're his friends. So he just walked away with like this blood all over his hand and whatnot. And then that was when the three guys, they kind of had like a wake up call. They were like, "You know what? I was gonna repay him when we get to another fight, but instead he was like, I guess we'll just joining the Kodo Club very seriously." And that was when they pretty much just stopped right there, where he's pretty much like, they pretty much just busted open their safe and whatnot. Oh, and there was one last thing I left out. When they were trying to discover what piece they were gonna play for the performance from a month from now, they pretty much just went to this what's the call? Not concert, but pretty much something like that, where they saw these kids perform this play. And the girl, she was in this, the rich girl. Yeah, she was in a disguise for some reason. And it turns out the person who was putting on the play, they were like a bunch of kids, but they were like very, very talented. They were playing like something a grown-up would play, like a masterpiece, something like that. And her mom was in charge of them. And then they were like, "So if that's your mom, don't you want to say hi to her? I mean, you're part of royalty and whatnot." And she was like, "Nah, just forget about it." She pretty much just left. Pretty much that. So I feel like that's pretty much all I had to say. But I feel like they really have. I feel like each character has their own backstory. That's what's keeping me intrigued. That's what I really like about this anime.
So how'd you feel about
like Kudo?
You can finish.
Like Kudo, he pretty much gives me like he looks kind of like Izaya in a way, because he has like that same similar jacket he has and whatnot, but instead he's more like a delinquent, not like this mastermind. That's what I like about it.
Okay.
What were you?
Oh, no. But basically, I was gonna say. So how'd you feel about the rich girl when you first saw her, though?
Oh, I was into it. I was like, yeah, she actually kind of pretty, but I was like, man, I can't stand this picture. I feel like I don't exactly hate her, but I'm intrigued to see what her past is, how she became what she is.
Okay. So how you feel about the rest of the characters besides like Kudo? Because I know you're intrigued by him. So how you feel about the rest of them so far?
The main character himself, I'm still waiting. I mean, hopefully he develops later on, but there's not really much I am intrigued by him because he's kind of like I feel like he's more timid than me. Like he doesn't really speak up for himself much. He's not like Midori. He's not on that level of like, ugh, I can't stand this. He's not on that level of annoying. But
yeah.
I just feel like I just want to see what they like. Will his character change? Something like that. So,
Okay. So how did the soundtrack sound like? How did it feel during like these episodes so far?
I actually really love the soundtracks of this anime. They really fit.
Okay. What about the performance? I know you said like the music when like they were actually playing the music, you were like, eh.
Oh, the music itself, I feel like it comes off as kind of bland to me, but like as in like I don't know, like if your teacher was in class and they said we're gonna listen to this musical play, it's something like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bland, like oh yeah, this is just your classical stuff like that. But
Okay.
the music itself, like the OST soundtracks for the anime, I'm actually feeling.
All right. I'll just say the animation is wise. I forgot how you said how it felt when you first saw it, but like how you feel about it now. Where would you like put it?
I'd still put it up there on a high note. Put it up there on a high note. Like, yeah.
Okay. So what would you probably put like these episodes compared to like the first one then?
It's still in the progression. I feel like it's one of those animes that's gradually becoming a 10 out of 10, which I made a mistake in the first podcast when I gave it a 10 out of 10 right at the back, but I feel like I meant to say that it's gradually becoming a 10 out of 10, kind of like how Three Got No Line is.
I mean, did the first episode feel like a 10 out of 10 to you, or were you like hooked? Because like if you had that feeling, then that first episode could have felt like one, but like what would you probably, matter of fact, what would you probably give like the episodes you just saw? What would you probably like, what would your rating be then?
They give it like a 9 to like an 8. Because like I feel like it's too soon for me to give it 10 out of 10 because I feel like there's a lot of mystery around these characters that keeps you intrigued. Kind of like how with I don't want to give it comparison to Persona but I'll give it a comparison to Three Got No Line instead.
Okay.
Because you did eventually find out about the sisters' backstories and whatnot. So I give it on that level of character interesting. So where each character has their own mystery, and I like the way they throw in the flashbacks so casually.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like remember when Naruto was fighting Sasuke that one scene and Sakura tried to stop where they kept playing it over and over again.
Oh
and they got
my god, yeah.
It wasn't like that, but it's like if you like I don't know if you said something about my past, I'd start thinking about it. Or if I said something about your past, it'd play like a flashback about that.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. I think I've got like most of my questions out of the way. Yeah. All right. I guess I'll go to my anime next. Yeah, first I was like, all right. I was all about to mess up. I was like, all right, guess you'll go to your anime. I was like, wait, hold up. You only got one left. All right. So anyway, all right. So the next anime I saw, which was my third anime, was Demon Slayers. And basically where we left off with Demon Slayers was basically the main character Tanjiro was basically just like everyone loves him in the village. He's basically like helping out like his like village and whatnot. And he basically comes home one day and his entire family is slaughtered except for his little sister. And then eventually as he's like trying to like take his little sister like get some like so it's like a medic or something like that, or like somewhere like to like get help or whatnot, his sister turns into a demon and then just ends up going rabid on him and whatnot. And then he ends up getting saved by, I was gonna call him, I'm gonna give him a name so I don't remember. I'm just gonna call him this Demon Slayer. I'm just gonna call him a Demon Slayer because at first I'm gonna say Johnny Youngbosh because that's who it was. It was basically like because I know the voice actor so well, and I'm about to bring up something else once I get to the next episodes. But basically, he's Johnny Youngbosh. Basically, the dude who's like played so many voices. He's Aya, Ichigo, and like a bunch of other. Anyway, so Johnny Youngbosh comes and saves him. The Demon Slayer, and he basically just says like you need to be strong enough to save your sister and whatnot. And he saw that like his sister actually like was trying to protect him when like the Demon Slayer confronted like Tanjiro and whatnot. And that's when he realized that Tanjiro and the sister were different, and he felt like, you know what, I think you guys are different. So that's when he tells him to go to this old man, and he'll help you train and whatnot, and he'll help him teach you and like learn the ways and like become a demon slayer and whatnot. So that's where he gets to the next episode where we leave off, where we have Tanjiro basically taking his sister to look for this guy to help him become a demon slayer, and that's where we basically get. So I'll skip right here and there, but the one thing I do want to bring up, for some reason, I don't know why, did you see when you saw the anime? Because I don't know when you saw it. What did you see it in dub or sub?
I think I saw it in sub at the time because I don't think they had a dub out.
Okay,
that's
okay. Because from when I listened to it, because I saw it completely in dub, and for some reason they got so many voice actors from Bleach to do the dub for this anime. Cause legit, like, first it started off with Johnny Youngbox when he showed up as that Demon Slayer, and then next thing you know, I hear this other voice, this like female shows up, and next thing you know, I'm like, is that Michelle Ruff? Like, that's Rukia's voice actor. And then next thing you know, we get to this one point where Tanjiro's like outside his building and he sees like all these people dead, and then there's like the first other demon besides her, like his like sister, like shows up and he's like, what do you want? You're trying to fight me? You're getting in the way of my business. And I'm like, that's the voice of Kenpachi from Bleach. I was like, literally, like, it started like more and more people. I kept hearing Bleach voices every now and then, and like, I'm expecting to hear more. I don't know where this dub took place in, but I'm pretty sure it took place around like where all those actors live, because I feel like I'm gonna hear more actors from Bleach in this anime, because I just kept hearing more and more. Matter of fact, I think there was probably another actor I can't think of who was also, I think it was the voice of Hitsugaya I heard as well in this like anime from like, I don't know why there was always Bleach accents, but I got no complaints since it worked for the characters. It wasn't like it was out of place. I'm like, man, get out of here, Ichigo. Like, it wasn't like they like fell out of place, but like it wasn't a hindrance. I actually did like it. It kind of like it was familiar voices that actually somewhat worked for the characters. So like it wasn't like a downplay or anything like that. But anyway, we get to this one demon that like attacks like Tanjiro and whatnot, and that's when like there's this moment where like Tanjiro's like he's basically like having trouble fighting him. At first he's like actually like doing pretty well. He's like has like hatching, like throws it in the air, like oh snap, and he like actually like hits him with it and whatnot. But then the demon slayer like kind of like gets like not slayer, the demon itself like kind of like grabs him. He gets like the upper hand, and then out of nowhere his sister like starts like foaming to the mouth, and next thing out of nowhere, bop, it just like kicks his head off just like that. I'm like, oh snap. Like, it is like boom, it is literally just like completely off just from that one kick. And then that's when like, but like he like has his head cut off, but next thing you know, like he's still like moving and talking. I'm like, what is going on? And then he like grabs like the head, like Tanjiro grabs the head and like sticks it to like this like a tree and whatnot. And that's when he gets introduced to the to the old man that he was supposed to be looking for anyway, with this weird samurai mask. And then like he talks to him. He says like, oh no, you're too naive right now. You're too weak. You need to be a little bit more stronger. You're also too indecisive. I need to train you. I need to build you up in order for you to become a proper demon slayer. And that's when the dude with the mask starts like becoming like that's when he pretty much becomes like his like mentor and whatnot. Basically like teaches him the ways of like, he basically like teaches him the ways of the demon slayer. So we basically skip ahead a few parts and whatnot, where basically he's like training and whatnot, basically a whole training montage of him like becoming a demon slayer and whatnot. And we see him like one of his like first things was like, oh yeah, here's my house. All right, now I'm gonna take you to this mountain. All right. And he was like, and next thing he's like tired. He's like, oh man, it was like, I'm exhausted from like climbing that mountain. And they like, and then the old man leaves like, where'd you go? And he's like, all right, find your way back to my house. What? And he's like all misty. He like doesn't know where to go. And he's like, okay, all right, it might be misty, but like I got a good scent. He like has like really good like smell. He like has a really good scent of stuff. He's like, all right, I can probably find my way back next time. Ah! And like it's like traps everywhere. So literally like he has to like find his way down this mountain with all of these traps placed everywhere. So it took him a minute, but he ends up like going back to like the house. And he ends up like passing and whatnot. So basically it's like this whole training montage where he's like doing a bunch of stuff and whatnot, and basically like the old man just says like, oh yeah, I've helped you like do everything. I've helped you train and like help you get to like I've done as much as I can for you right now. So the only thing I have left to teach you is, here's his boulder, try to cut it with your sword. And he's like, how am I supposed to do that? And basically, like the rest of the episode is basically just him like trying to cut this boulder, and that's when we get introduced to this other demon slayer that just shows up out of nowhere, and this like other little this other, not like little girl, like about like the same age like Tanjiro, this other girl and whatnot, and that's when they're like, for some reason she like helps him like try like helps him like break the boulder and whatnot, and, like teaches him, and then next thing you know, like a whole year passed now, and now he's on like a. And now, like, he's actually on a completely different level than when he was, like, the few months he was, like, learning from the old man and whatnot. And when that other demon slayer showed up, he actually had, like, this wood sword, and he was actually, like, fighting Tanjiro at first in the beginning. And then, like, the girl shows up, and then she's like, okay, I'll help you out and whatnot. And that's when he, like, trains a little bit more, and then, like, a year passed, and then, like, now he, like, faces off with that demon slayer again, and this time right off the bat, shing, and just like straight up cuts his mask through and through. And then like he like said, like he just kind of like had like this face of like relief, and he's just like, good, you're ready. And then like they just disappear out of nowhere in the mist. I'm like, what the hell happened? And then like he like looks, and then like the mist kind of clears up, and then now instead of like once the dude left, instead of like the mask being cut off, he like sees the boulder, and it's like completely cut, and he's like, oh, I guess I did it, and that's where it ends. So far, I'm like, I'm curious. I'm intrigued. I'm curious to see where this is going to go. Because at first I wasn't like, I wouldn't say I wasn't feeling it, but I wasn't like as invested until like we got to like the training montage, and we actually saw him like building himself up, because I was like, okay, he's actually getting strong. He's actually like trying to like get himself to like that level and whatnot. So like, because at first I was like, I hope it just doesn't end up like being like, just like at first like, I don't know what to do. I can't kill him. I was like at first I was like feeling it. I was like, at first I wasn't feeling him at first, but then like when we got to like that last part where he like trained his way there, and then like he said, all right, let's go. And next thing you know, shing, and he like just has that one shot with the sword. I'm like, oh snap. He like really caught me off guard how like he actually like progressed, and like he actually looked cooler with, like when I saw like his like longer hair and whatnot with like the time skip happened and whatnot. So I'm actually intrigued. It took me like right at the last part with that training montage happened, where I actually got like really invested. So now like I'm curious to see where this goes now. So that's like where I'm at right now. So right now I'd probably give it a 7, because at first it would have been an 8 if it had that same progression like in like the third episode, but it wasn't until like the second episode I wasn't like that invested until like we got to the end of it, and then the third episode. So I probably give it a 7 right now. But you have any questions?
How do you feel about the sister?
The sister itself, I'm curious. Well, I do like, whenever I see her fight, I do like that. But like the fact that I feel like right now, I don't know, because I say like the one thing I do like about her is I like her fighting. Whenever I saw her fight, I like how like she just ends up being a rabbit, just like goes off and whatnot. But she's kind of like normal, just pretty chill when like there's like no fighting or anything going around. She pretty just has like that like this block thing in her mouth, and she's basically just like sitting in a basket and just pretty chill and whatnot. So I'm just like, and I'll take that over her being like, yeah, like, big brother, what are we gonna do? Like, no, like, so I prefer this over like the other way around. So like, so far I got nothing against her. So far I'm fine with her, and I do like when she like fights and whatnot. But anything else?
You never know, man. They might take that route.
Oh no, I hope. Like, big brother, I always wanted to be with you. What? All right, I'm drunk. I'm out. Okay, but anything else?
Would you say there's anybody else you like other than him?
I feel like, well, I did like Johnny Youngboss's character when he first showed up, so I hope he does come back at some point. Just because I felt like he was a cool character when I first saw it. But so far, like, I definitely say like Tanjiro definitely progressed once I saw him at the end. I saw like him actually like progressing and becoming a better warrior, an actual demon slayer compared to the beginning. So I definitely like start getting invested with that. And I did like the guy with the wood sword. It wasn't like, I didn't see much of him, but I did like him like helping him out where he came in with a wood sword and he was like already still like he was like I don't like Tanjiro was like I don't know if I want to fight you because you have a wood sword. He's like, you really think you're gonna hit me with that other sword? He's like, all right, I ain't gonna hold back then. That's when he like started murking him in the beginning with like just a wooden sword. He didn't even have a real sword, and he was murking him with that wooden sword in the beginning. And that's when like he like came back, and that's when Tanjiro came back later on after the time skip, and that's when he like actually like murked him like that. So
I feel like they're gonna pull a K project here where if they kill off Johnny Youngbox, you just drop the anime. They kill him off.
I feel like that could end up being like that. Yeah. So far I'm invested right now, but we'll see how it goes right now. But like, if something like that happens, I'll be like, man, I'm done with this. All right, ruined it, man. But I'm curious, and depending on if they get more Bleach voice actors, if we have someone voiced by Cal Herbert, like the voice actor for Aizen, or like someone else in like a voice actor of Bleach, who knows? Like I could have another character I'm invested in, so we'll see how it goes. Like to be fair, I
haven't heard Urahara in any other anime.
Oh, say what?
I haven't heard of Urahara in any other anime.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't think I have either. Huh, interesting. Yeah, that would actually be intriguing if he was like voiced somewhere like a setting like here and whatnot. I can just imagine like someone like watches this anime and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, man, I watched Bleach." It was like, "What? This ain't Bleach." He was like, "What are you talking about? You said there was like a guy with a sword. Yeah, that's him right there, right? That's Ichigo." Like that's like the same thing. I was like, "Yeah, guy with a samurai sword. Yeah, the dude with a sword. Dude like has like a getup, and he's like, yeah, this is Bleach, right?" Yeah, like, no, you're lying. It's the same voice. This is Bleach, right? but yeah. So far, I'm like feeling it right now. But yeah. So anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay. All right. I guess you can go your last anime then.
So this last anime was called Stars Align.
Oh
and
yeah.
Pretty much, not baseball, not softball, tennis.
I thought you was say yeah.
And
I remember
where we left off was the main character was trying to the main character Maki, he was getting invited by the coach to join the team, and the coach was pretty much trying to persuade him to join, and they made this deal where if they paid him to join the team, he'd join the team. So we pretty much get here to episode 2 and 3, where he got the coach brought him to the team, and they said, "Yeah, this is Maki." Who was that? What was that?
Oh, don't worry about that. I didn't think you could hear it. I was pushing my chair, but it made a weird noise. I'm like, oh, please tell me that it didn't go on mic. All right. Anyway, continue.
So where we leave off here in episode 2 and 3, you have he pretty much, it started off kind of cringy, but this guy was getting not the main character, but it was just like some unknown character who was getting bullied in the hallway. And it was like some cringy dialogue, like, "Yeah, let's get you about it. Get a fight back. Yeah, take that, fat show." It's kind of, and then the coach comes in to save the day. I'm just like, huh?
Oh no.
And then what makes it matters worse is, as the coach was walking away, the guy who got saved, he was staring at the coach, and then that was when Maki showed up. He was like, "I get it. You have a crush on him, don't you? It's okay. You can join a team. You can become our manager." What?
Oh, what?
So
what?
So what happens is he gets introduced to the team, the tennis team or whatnot. They're pretty much doing these introductions or whatnot, cringy introductions about, "Yeah, my name is so and so, this, that, and third." And anyway, he was like, "You know what? He's just a beginner, but let's just see if he could do some laps first." They're pretty much trying to play it off like they're better than the new guy they're trying to introduce.
Yeah.
So they do some laps, and Maki, he does it no problem. The laps, he completes it no problem. No big deal. While the team was all worn out, I mean, he did it with a breeze. So then we get to the next step where the captain was like, "All right, you did good with the laps." So the captain, he shows him like the basics of how to hold a net. Well, not how to hold a net, but how to hold the tennis racket.
I say how to hold a net. I'm like, so you hold it, huh? All right.
So he does this simple move where he pretty much just hits the ball against the wall. And that's pretty much that for the basics. He was like, sounds simple enough. So then he lets the team do it. And the team, who've been together for a whole year, they couldn't even do that right. They started making simple mistakes. They started missing the ball. I was like, huh? And that was the main character started trashing. He was like trash talking him. He was like, "This is the best the team can do, and you guys been together for this long. You guys are amateur." He's like, "What? Take that back," something like that.
Oh, okay.
And then they had like this somewhat many argument about, yeah, at least we're trying. He was like, "You're just making excuses to cover up for your own mistakes." So.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't say, to be fair, I give him credit for the fact that he insulted him. I didn't think he do. All right, anyway.
So they actually have an actual round between him and the team himself. So it's pretty much the captain teams up with the main character named Maki. They teamed up anyway because they made a deal anyway. So it was them two versus the team. And they started playing each team member two versus two. And he pretty much just mopped the floor at them the whole time. And then by the end of it, that's pretty much what the whole episode 3 was about, was him versus the whole team. So I'm not going to like bore you with the details of what was going on about doing this move, that move. Okay. Pretty much after that. So he wiped the floor with the team and he started trash talking the team. He was like, "You guys suck. Are you serious? This is the best you can do." And then, see, I thought the coach was getting mad at the main character. No. He was getting mad at the team. He was like, "I'm done with this team," and then he just quit and he left.
Huh? Oh,
the coach himself stormed off. He gave up on the team. He was like, "What? You guys are amateurs." Like he went off. He gave up. I was like, "Damn."
He just gave up.
He had to do him like that. So then what happens is they go to the next day, and the coach didn't show up. So after what happens is the team, they're by themselves. They're wondering what they're talking about. Man, the coach just disbanded us. What are we gonna do now? Guess we'll get disbanded. So what happens is this guy, he shows up and he starts messing with the team member because he pretty much has some history on his family about how he's the only child in the house and whatnot. So he was picking a fight with him, saying stuff about his mom and whatnot. So then what happened was one of the team members got mad. And then he hit him upside the head with a tennis racket. And then the guy started bleeding. He was like, he started crying. Like, "What?" And that was pretty much what happened with that scene. So so they went into the locker room and it changed. And then the team pretty much explained why the guy doesn't change with the team. Whenever a new recruit shows up, he doesn't change in a changing room. Mm-hmm. He goes off by himself because he doesn't want to explain the story of what happened to him when he was a kid. Because pretty much when he was a kid, his abusive mom threw hot water on him.
Oh.
Like, hot water you boil on the stove.
Yeah,
so she poured it all over him as a baby, and he pretty much got all these burns all over his body. Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened there. And that's pretty much why he didn't change in the locker room. Mm-hmm. So he wouldn't have to explain it to him.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty much at the end of the episode, he pretty much just, the main character had a pep talk with his coach, and he told him that not to quit on the team because they had a deal. That's pretty much where it left off at.
So what'd you say you're feeling about, like, how you feel about the progression of the story so far? Like, would you say you're intrigued with it? Were you kind of about it? Like, how you feel about it so far?
See, I felt like the same way you felt about Life is Strange, where they had all that cringy dialogue that kind of messed it up. Welcome to the Shaka Block. What?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
The only thing I liked about it was pretty much the main character trash talking the whole team. I was like, oh, that was the other thing I liked about it. Oh, yeah. Other than that, everything else, I'm just like, I think you have a crush on him. You could become our manager.
Was there any other character?
Other than the main character, no. Nope.
What about the coach?
Actually, I think the coach is okay too. I think he's okay with me, especially how he's fast on the team. Like, no, suck.
Okay. Would you say there was any good soundtracks for it, or would you say it was
no soundtracks that people enjoy.
Okay.
It was just
all right. How'd the animation look though?
Animation was. It was okay, I guess. It was alright.
Just a regular anime?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you probably give it so far from the episode you saw?
I'll give it a 7.5.
7.5?
Yeah, I give it 7.5.
That was higher than I expected. It was because of the trash talking. You all suck, man. What are y'all doing? Man, I'm telling y'all, quit this. Okay, I don't think I got any more questions for you. All right. Guess I'll go to my last anime then. Okay. So we are here with my last anime, which is Beastars. Now, I talked about this before. I already talked about this anime in the last podcast, and now I'm going to be talking about the next two episodes. And basically where we left off was basically... I'm trying to like sum it up in like the smallest way possible because I don't want to like backtrack. Next thing you know, this thing is like 40 or 70 minutes long. I'm just like, man, he went on forever. He just basically said everything from episode 1. But anyway, basically the small gist fit was it's basically a world filled with like talking animals, and basically like they all like go to this high school, and apparently at this school one of the carnivores ate one of the herbivores. And like I said in the last episode, there's two different type of animals. There's the carnivores and there's the herbivores. Carnivores are basically the meat eaters. Herbivores are basically the vegetarians, basically. And apparently, this is the first time this ever happened where one of the carnivores ate one of the classmates. Because no one has ever eaten like one of the other like classmates at a school before. So this like caught everyone off guard. Everyone's kind of shocked about that. And basically, where we leave off from the last episode though is where we get to Legoshi. And Legoshi is he's basically like helping Louis, who's the deer dude, the popular deer dude, who's like the popular guy in the school who like everyone loves. Like, oh my god, he's so hot! Oh my god, I love Legoshi. He's like the popular dude there. He's basically like helping Legoshi like hide out, not hide out, but basically like sneaking into the auditorium that they in to help rehearse for his play because they wouldn't let him in. So that's basically what Legoshi's doing. He's basically being like the guard to make sure like no one's watching them while they like sneak in there, like Louis and his like partner to help them like work out the scene together. So as Legoshi's doing that, he sees this bunny girl, and while he's seeing this bunny girl, his like urges come in like this, his like carnivore urges, and his eyes like turn red, and he just like gets out of it. And that's when we like see him grab like the bunny girl, and that's where like episode 1 ended. But what I liked about episode 2, it like starts off right as he's like grabbing this bunny girl and whatnot. And while he's like grabbing this bunny girl, like a whole other like side of him like comes out that like talks to him, almost like Hollow Ichigo, kind of like where like this like dark being like comes out where like it's like his carnivore side kind of like talks to him. This way more like cocky and sadistic than him. He was like, come on, you know you want to take a bite. You're just stopping the inevitable. You know you want to. This is what you need to do. All you're doing is hiding your true self. Do it now. Like it's just like he's like talking to himself, like him and like his like dark side, just like having this conversation with each other while he's like holding this like bunny girl. And like at first so basically. Okay, I'll go right here. All right. So basically, his inner self like takes control of himself. Like his inner demons like take control, and then as he grabs the bunny girl, he's like grabbing her hard. He's like holding her tight, like he's about to like finally like eat her and whatnot. And like as he's grabbing her, like blood starts coming out of like the bunny girl's arm as he's like holding on her tight. And then like out of nowhere, he like snaps out of it because Leo's partner runs out from the auditorium and says like, oh, Legoshi, we need your help. And he like, huh? What's going on? And then the bunny girl like runs off and whatnot, and that's basically like she like gets away. And then like Legoshi's like, what happened? And then like the Leo's partner just said like, Louis, he like sprained his leg. And he's like, what? What's going on? And apparently like Leo like sprained his leg because during like the scene and whatnot, he like fell like spread like because his partner was about to like fall and whatnot. He actually like saved him. And like he like fell instead, and he like sprained his leg. And he's like, oh no, it's fine. It's just a scratch. No, it's just a scratch. No, everyone like leave me be. I'm good. You need to make a big deal about it. So basically, just to skip ahead a few paces left, we basically get to. Let's see where we get to right now. Okay. God, I want to like skip a good part. We basically get to Legoshi just like talking about like how he almost ate that bunny girl, and he's like talking to himself as well. Just like really just like mad about himself, and like he's just like, I almost ate that. Damn right. I need to learn how to control myself and whatnot. And he's like really frustrated about himself and whatnot. And whenever he looks at himself in the mirror also, he always sees his inner demon. And it always talks to him. Like every single time he looks in the mirror, it's never it's never his actual self. It's always that other self. So whenever he like sees the mirror, he just like breaks it. He's just like done. He's like, nah, I gotta take control of myself and whatnot. And he's like just like chilling at like the cafeteria and whatnot. And out of nowhere, this like fox and this raccoon dude, they're like talking to each other, like, what? Man, I'll beat your ass. And they like start fighting each other. He's like, did you just bite me? I'll kill you, man. Then like at that point, like Legoshi's just like getting irritated as he's like hearing this fighting. And he's like, all right, enough. All right. And then like he like this is the first time he actually confronted like someone to try to like stop a fight or whatnot. He's just like, oh, like in his head, it's like, did I just say that? And then like the fox was just like, oh, you think I'm scared of you? What are you trying to do, man? You trying to fight? You think just because you're all big and bad, you think you can like, you think you can beat me up and whatnot? And Legoshi's just thinking in his head like, how the hell am I gonna get out of the situation? And he's just thinking about like, maybe I can like try to get myself to lose the fight or whatnot, just so I can like walk away from this or whatnot. Because in his head, he's like thinking about like how he is, and like he's like this little small wolf person, and he knows for a fact if he even makes one little scratch on this dude, he'll just one shot him, because that's how strong Legoshi is. So he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna, how can I get out of the situation? And he got out of the situation because Louis came in and he basically just like confront the fox dude, and basically just like talk the fox dude down, and basically just said like, you like ignorant person, I guess like brains, I guess you only get brains or bronze in this school or whatnot, I guess you got none of them. And basically he just basically just like talked down to this person, basically like sided with Legoshi and whatnot, and basically just like the fox just like, remember this, and basically became like a laughing, and basically like the fox and raccoon dude became like a laughing stock, because like Legoshi like talked down and like pretty much like help Legoshi out right there. And then like Louis just said like, all right, now we're even, because like because Legoshi like helped him out when he like sprained his leg or whatnot. So that was just basically just him helping him out. So I'm gonna skip to like this pretty much like the main part where we get to in the story where Legoshi is basically still like just in denial with the fact that like just like kind of mad at himself over the fact that he almost ate that bunny girl and he like couldn't control himself. And during the time where he's like working in the drama club, he's like behind the scenes and whatnot, working with the lighting crew and whatnot. He should like some of the other actors just say, oh yeah, we need you to help get some flowers at from the flower garden, from the flower club and whatnot. So he's like, all right, I'll go to the flower club. And he goes to the flower club and he sees the bunny girl, the same bunny girl that he almost ate and almost attacked and whatnot. And that's when he's like, I gotta go, because she doesn't see him yet, but she like turns around before he can even leave. He's like, where's the door? And right as he's about to leave, he's like, oh, you need some flowers? And he was like, yeah. Yeah, I need some flowers. And like she's like talking to him like he's like, she's like meeting him for like the first time, because like it's just like it's weird. He's like, wait, does she not remember everything? And then like he's like just basically like, oh yeah, why you're like why I'm giving you these flowers, can you like help me out with this stuff and whatnot? And she's there like, wait, and now he's there even longer, because now he's like helping out like her and the flower crew and whatnot. And she's the only one in the flower club, because there's actually these rumors going around with this bunny girl. Her name's Haru. And there's a lot of rumors going around with Haru basically saying like she's basically like sleeping around with a bunch of guys and whatnot. She's basically like the town slut or whatnot. And basically almost somewhat like Kate Marsh from Life is Strange, except you can't really see like in Kate Marsh, when you saw that in Life is Strange, you knew she was like going through some stuff. You saw it on her face. She was like, ew, what happened to her? She definitely been having a rough time with it. You can't really. What I like about Haru is that like she like talks back over her people. Like she doesn't like take anything. Like if someone says something about her, she like says like, oh yeah, I'm sorry that like your boyfriend thought that I was better looking than you. Like she like talks back over compared to like, she doesn't like deal with it like that and whatnot. But she is like kind of like depressed on the inside though. And she's like pretty much like help like talking to Legoshi and whatnot. And Legoshi's actually kind of like, she's actually pretty chill, like, and then like she's just like he's just like don't talk about and like she also has the bandage from when he like grabbed her and like the blood came out, and then like don't talk about the scar. He's like, so how did you get that scar? Why'd I say oh. And basically Haru just goes like, oh, I don't remember, I think I might have done that myself, I don't remember. He's like, what? Why the hell doesn't she remember or whatnot? He's like confused or whatnot. And then like as he's like talking to this like bunny girl more and more and helping her out, he actually starts like really start feeling this bunny girl, because like she's not afraid of him at all. Like she's just like just talk to him normally and whatnot, because like apparently like because considering that they're both outcasts, considering like no one else is a part of Flower Club, because there's these rumors thinking that like she's a slut or whatnot, they're like she's just like, oh yeah, this hasn't been like that many people around the Flower Club this lately, so like it's nice to have some like people like help for once and whatnot. And then out of nowhere, she's just like well, the ghost just like he's like, I'm actually enjoying talking to her and whatnot. He actually starts to get conflicted, because now he's like, weirdly as he's talking to her, he's like, I'm actually enjoying talking to her. He's actually like somewhat feeling her, but at the same time it's conflicted, because at the same time I was like, I tried to eat this girl, and now I'm somewhat feeling her. Now what is going on? Like it's just like it's this weird dynamic. And next thing you know, like Haru, like he's like talk to him and whatnot, and he's like, oh I don't really know how to repay you for like helping me and whatnot. I haven't really had help from I never really had this much help from in a while now. And then like Haru's like, oh, you want to like go out and get something to eat or something like that, or like just what do you like to eat and whatnot? And it's like what do I like to eat? He like said like think of some salad, I don't know, broccoli, fish. I just kind of he was like in his head. He didn't say it out loud. He's like thinking about like what to say. He's like, oh wait, you don't want to go on a date? And then like she's just saying, oh wait, I think I know what you came here for. Okay, I understand. I never done it with a carnivore before. And then she starts undressing, and she like takes off her clothes, and it's like, and then like he's like in his head right now thinking about what to say, what do I like to eat, and then he looks down, next thing like she's like undresses, like, what did I say? I've never done it with a carnivore before, but don't worry, you can be rough. I'm used to this. What's going on? Like, he starts like taking off his pants, and that's where it ends right there. I'm like, what? What's going on? And it caught me like, I've seen some weird stuff before, but like you never once. I don't think I've ever say what.
Wait, so what happened was she was taking off her clothes? She said she knows she's a whore? What?
Like, no, basically, like, she's basically, basically, there's like a fewer things that happen right now. I'll explain it, but basically, like, she, like, apparently, like, he like thought he wanted something else, because she was like, oh yeah, maybe you want to go out to eat, for like to repay him for like helping her out and whatnot, for helping her out in the gardening club. So she was like, oh, I guess you wanted that, you wanted something else. So I guess like, so apparently she like has given her like body away to a few people as well, and that's like what really caught me off guard about this, when like she like said like, oh yeah, oh you want that, okay, you want to be the first, all right. And then like she started like stripping and whatnot, and I don't think I've ever once seen, I've seen some weird stuff online, but I don't think I've ever seen a bunny girl with in a bra with full on breast just sticking out in the open like that. And that just really caught me off guard. I didn't know how to feel about that. I was just conflicted as a Goshi when he saw it. And next thing you know, he started like taking off his pants, and he's like, oh, no, I gotta go. And then like he just ran out because he wasn't ready for that. And then like it was like around that part that like that's basically where it ended. What he just like basically didn't know like how I feel about that. Say what?
You weren't feeling that body?
So it's like it was like a rabbit woman, and like you know like I was like, if anything, that caught me more off guard. It was more shocking than sexy. It was more, what's going on? I was like, I basically had the same reaction as the Goshi as she started taking off her clothes. So that's basically how I felt right there. But
why was this part rabbit? Why is this part human? I can't.
It was just like, it really caught me off guard. But at the same time, I was still invested with what was going on. And that part definitely caught me off guard though. But so far with everything that happened with the show, I'm still invested though. I'm still really invested to see where it goes. I'd probably still give it a 9 right now, just because I'm still intrigued with like the mystery of like a few other characters, just seeing like where this show is gonna go, and especially like the conflict of what he's dealing with right now, considering like he's like feeling this girl. Like at first he was looking at her like a snack, and now he's looking at her like a snack, but a completely different way now. Like two different meanings now. At first, like I wanted to eat you, but now I want to eat you. Like, huh? it's like, what is going on? It's weird, but like I'm still invested just to see like where the hell this is gonna go. So I probably still give this a 9 out of 10 right now, just to see where it's gonna go. And I'm really intrigued with like Louis' character as well, because like also I bring this up. I'll be short about this. He like that goes back to drama club. He's like going slower than usual because he like in drama club he's like supposed to run in this one scene, but like the director can tell he's going a little slower, and he's like, no, I'm fine, it's fine. And apparently he like took off his like he like showed his leg in like one part. He like shows it again like by himself. When he's by himself, he like uncovers it, and you can like see like it's like really messed up, like it's like really badly hurt, and he's just like, no, I'll save it. I'll go to the hospital after I'm done with the performance. It's fine. I'll go to this for the very end. So right now he's like really like it looks infected. That's how bad his like leg is. So I'm curious to see where that's gonna go right now. But so far I'm still invested and curious to see where this is gonna go though. But you have any questions?
The only question I have is, if he remembers the attack and she doesn't, does that mean it was all in his head?
No, the attack actually happened, but for some reason she doesn't remember. So I don't know. Like in my head, I'm like thinking like, is she like, does she know and just doesn't want to bring it up, or did she like have like post-traumatic stress memory? Kind of like when like something traumatic, like it's a thing that I've seen before. Like it's when something traumatic happens to a person, they like forget it the next day because it was so traumatic. So like I don't know if it's like that, or she just like acted like nothing happened, where like she just threw it under the rug, like she just doesn't care. So I don't know where that is. So I'm curious to see like, does she? I feel like in my head she knows. I feel like she knows that was Legoshi, and that he was the one that like was about to eat her. I feel like she knows. I feel like she's the type of character that knows that was him, because she seems like a very smart character. So like I'm curious to see this dynamic. I'm very curious to see this. But any other questions?
No, that's all.
Okay. All right. I guess we can go down the categories then. All right. Favorite character out of the 4 animes you've seen so far?
It would be
See, for me, I'm going with Legoshi, just because I like that inner demon thing caught me off guard, and I did like that progression that he had, like the internal struggle that he's having with himself. I really do like that dynamic and that like dark side of himself. That like really caught me off guard. So for me, I'm going with Legoshi.
See, I want to say that guy from Vinland Saga, but I want to say Kudo from Oto, because he has somewhat of a dark past that he keeps with him. So, but they both have a dark past.
Yeah. So which are you going with?
Can I go with draw?
You can do a draw. It's fine. It's fine. So both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Draw's fine. Okay. This one I think you might easily know what yours is. I don't know whether to be fair. I think you've told me a few characters that might make you. All right, I'm just gonna go to anyway. All right, worst character out of the 4 animes you've watched.
Oh, definitely that Confess My Love guy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was gonna say that person. Worst character. Oh, that's hard. I'm trying to think was there really a character out there that like, really irritated me? So far, I actually did like a couple of most of the characters I've actually seen so far. So I'm like trying to think about, because at first it was going to be Tanjiro, but then he actually had that good progression at the end where he actually like murked that dude. And now I'm like, oh snap! And I actually started feeling him. So now I'm like, who the hell would end up being that? I'm trying to think of like a little side character like came up to like, you know, I'll give it to this character. There was one character in Beastars that like showed up, and like he like and like Leo like kicked him off of the acting club. And he just like, man, I can't stand that dude. No. And then like he always talk like I like next thing you know, like Legoshi, like I remember he was like trying to like help the dude out. He was like, no, it's fine, man. You can just like think of a nerd club. He was like, what? Why are you talking to me? Get off me, wolf, man. I ain't trying to talk. What? I was like, what? Like, don't. Yeah, probably him. Like he's the only one I can think of like specifically like I didn't like. So yeah, I'll probably give it to him. All right. Anyway, favorite episode out of the 4 animes you've seen?
I'm gonna give it to Vinland Saga. At episode 2.
Episode 2? Okay. See, for me, it's between. I definitely episode 3 of the Promised Neverland. I definitely episode 3 when that.
Huh?
When that
Promised Neverland?
yeah,
What?
Yeah. What?
What's that podcast 1?
What? Wait, what?
Promised Neverland? What's that podcast?
I think you're thinking of Something in the Forest Spirit. The Promised Neverland was the show with the plot twist and that creepy aura. That's the show I've been talking about. You were like the Promised. Nah, that wasn't one. No, the Promised Neverland is the one I've been talking about, the creepy aura and whatnot. Nah. Basically, okay. Anyway, I'm going to episode 3 of the Promised Neverland because of that. When that assistant came in, she's like, "I found you." that gave me shit. I wasn't ready for that, and then I started calling out all the characters' flaws and whatnot. Oh, that called. Oh yeah, I gotta give that to that episode. All right. What's the next one? All right, worst episode out of the 4 anime you saw. See, I'm gonna give it to episode 2 of Demon Slayers because at first, like the training montage was alright, and it wasn't until episode 3 where it got good. So yeah, I'm gonna say that.
See, I want to give it. I think I'm gonna give it to Dr. Stone because I feel like that guy. He just kind of ruined the flow of the show. I would have gave it to Stars Align, but the Trash Talker was better. So
yeah,
I give it that.
Okay. Okay. Best animation out of the 4 anime you saw. For me, I gotta say Beastars. That animation was actually really good.
Vinland Saga.
Oh, Vinland Saga? Okay. Alright. So I got one for you. Alright.
At the same time, I want to give it a... I give it a Koda Oto.
Oh, Koda Oto. Oh, okay, you gotta change it. Okay. Koda Oto? Wait, is that your official one?
Yeah.
Okay, Koda Oto. Alright. And it gets for me. Yeah, Beastars. Yeah, that was definitely really good. Alright. Worst animation out of the 4 you saw. And the reason the worst thing, you can just say like which was the one that was like the blandest, like for instance, the least out of the 4.
I'll give it a Stars Align.
See, I'm probably
because it doesn't have anything unique about it.
Yeah. See, I'm just going by only because the training montage wasn't really that. The favorite animation got really good, but I'm gonna give it to just Demon Slayers only because of that one part where it just kind of got somewhat boring with that small training montage. So I'm just go with that for the time being. But the animation isn't bad. I'm just subtracting out of the other animations that were good. All right. Best atmosphere out of the 4 anime you saw.
I'm gonna give it to Koda Oto.
Koda Oto? Okay. And yeah, the Promised Neverland still best atmosphere. Still keep that same atmosphere. All right. Best soundtrack out of the 4.
Koda Oto.
All right. Yep. You like that instrument music? All right. Best soundtrack. Yeah. Even though I like that eerie tracks from the Promised Neverland, I gotta give it to Beastars because I really like it's like this weird jazzy soundtrack that like somewhat works for the anime and like it like I like. It's
like that thing from Got to the Line.
Yeah, someone like that. Kind of like when I said like, I remember in like the last podcast I said when like Louis first showed up, he had like that type of like song when he like not completely, but like when he showed up, it had a somewhat same tone with that song where like you knew he was a big character when he showed up, and like there are a lot of soundtracks and themes for each specific character that like works, and it really gets me invested for each character. So like I gotta give it to Beastars. I gotta give it to Beastars. I still love the Promised Neverland soundtrack, but like just I like Beastars soundtrack a little bit more, so I gotta give it to that. All right. Worst soundtrack out of the 4.
I guess Stars Align.
I guess I give it to Demon Slayer just because I can't think of one that was really that memorable compared to all the other 3 anime. So yeah, I give it to that one. All right. What is the best anime overall you're watching so far?
I'll give it to Kono Oto.
Kono Oto? All right. See, it's hard. Actually, nah. I'm still giving it to the Promised Neverland just for that last episode. See, I give it to that. Yeah, still a Promised Neverland. Okay. And now for the big one right here. Which anime out of the 4 are you dropping?
See, all the anime have their perks, but I'm gonna drop Stars Align just because I have a gut feeling that I know where it's gonna go. And that guy was like, "You can join the adventure team. You have a crush on him." I know it's.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me of this one at the podcast.
Okay. All right. See, this was so hard for me because I was hoping, because usually there's always that one point when I'm like watching a certain anime where like there's like that one thing where like kind of like when I was watching Keep Your Hands Off Etsuki and it kind of had that dip. So when I dropped it, I was like, okay, at least I had a reason for dropping it. I don't really have a reason for dropping any of these 4 right now because I'm still invested with all 4 of them. But by default, just because of the lowest rating, I gotta give it for the benefit of the doubt. Now, I will come back to this anime at some point, but just for this podcast, just to drop it right now, I gotta drop Demon Slayers. But I will come back to it eventually. I'm definitely coming back to the show eventually. I'm definitely coming back to the show eventually just to see where this goes. But I gotta drop. I'll say what?
I said, don't feel bad. It'll eventually happen.
Oh, don't worry. I'll see where it goes. But right now, I gotta drop this one for the time being, just because the other anime I was still a little bit more invested in. So for the benefit of the doubt for this podcast, right now I'm dropping it. And I gotta keep these 3. Okay. So right now, for the 3 that I have currently, I have Akira no Sora, Beastars, and The Promised Neverland. And what are your 3?
Kono Oto, Vinland Saga, and Dr. Stone.
Okay. All right, so we got 3 anime left, and I guess for the next podcast, we are going to be tackling the next 5 episodes from each anime. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, click that like button. This is Michael.
This is Tavon.
And we will see you next time.